back to the channel and a new video on the Volkswagen Polo. The comment section in the last video was brilliant. Everybody asking me, is there any damage underneath, about the forklift, about the rear beam, and I can only apologise. I did say in that video, it was so rushed. We really did get a little bit stuck for time when we did that video, and unfortunately there was some stuff that I missed out. But to answer the most popular question was, do the forklifts damage the underside of the cars? What I will say is, when you are buying cars from the salvage yard, you don't have a choice. This is how they load them, and it's either accept how they load them or don't have them, sort of thing. So to be honest, all the years I've been buying cars, I've never really had any damage. Nothing more than a few little scuffs or scratches. The forks themselves will sit on this front subframe. That's what they'll aim for, and also that back beam. So essentially they shouldn't be touching the underside of the car anyway. If they had short forks and they put them under and lifted it up, I've seen them down the scrapyard. All the floors inside are punched up, but they are extra long forks and they do go all the way through. So I thought, I'm standing right in front of the torch and I'm trying to shine it up for you. I thought I would show, and some people did say, I'd love to see the underside of that car. Chris, can I get you to hold this torch? So as you can see, there is just minimal, like the little tiny scratches, but the underneath of the car is perfect. You can see where the forks have rested on it there, and I bet if you wipe that off, it's not got a mark on it. So there was no damage caused, and to be fair, we've not had one with any damage on it. The back beam, everybody was reaching out to me about this. I'm sure it looks bent, Rob, and you would be 100% right. It's severely bent. The beam is absolute toast. And we thought that the tyre had took a hit and maybe gone down, but if you look inside there, that wheel is toast as well. And that is the reason why this car was down as runs but does not drive, because that wheel was actually touching the caliper and the wheel wouldn't go round, and they won't drive them if it doesn't move. So moving on, we're going to crack on, turn the car around and get this rear beam removed. Turn the car around, it's a lot easier doing it this way on the ramp. Got the tripod set up, we can actually get a lot more in the camera, we can see a lot more. It's quite cold outside and it's awkward with that door open, but the main reason I've cut back in now is to actually show how bad that wheel is before we remove the beam. You can see how twisted and bent that is now. Very, very hard smacking that wheel there. That's the old one out. Nice, straightforward, easy job to do. You had the main bolts through here, the shock bolts, then you had the ABS sensor and the brake lines to disconnect, and 2 handbrake cables, which they've saved a lot of work. They're really, really easy. They just push through the calipers and hook back in. So I've never seen it quite that easy. Well, I probably have, but the Fiat 500s are a pain and you've got to get in the car and disconnect them. But yeah, we made light work of that. It come out reasonably easy. Let's move round to the breaker's yard and pick up the replacement. I completely forget to cut in as soon as I got down here, guys, but down Kent Auto Salvage, they got this 2010, it's in number plate there, Polo, diesel, exactly the same. It is a 4-door, but I've looked online and the bumpers are the same. So they've got a bumper in red. There is a few scratches on it, the other side. A few scuffs there, but very, very easy, just flat off. And that corner can get painted. Well, the whole bumper will be painted. And of course, We've got the rear light there for it as well, and the rear beam. So the driver is going to come round, put it on the forklift. He's going to take it into the workshop and remove the rear beam on their lift for me. It's just a lot quicker. They got all the tools there, and I don't want to be laying down in the yard on these stones, unbolting it all and then asking them to come round and lift it anyway. So I'll talk about the price, about the parts right at the end of the video when we do the summing up, but seem to be collecting quite a few little bits around here, and very, very reasonably priced. Quite a lot of you did mention the wheels, saying, Rob, it's got the wrong size wheels on it. I've actually looked in the sticker inside the door, and it has got the right size wheels on it, that car. They're 17s, but as we know, one of them is ruined. So worst way, what we'll do is we'll come down and buy a set like this and just bring it down to 16-inch. But this seems to have quite a nice set of wheels on it, but only a couple of the tyres are any good. So do we go down that road, or do we just source one wheel for it? I will start looking, see if we can find one. I'll better take that bracket off while we're here as well, because we do need that. Back from the breakers, and I am going to put it in there because the price was already on screen when we won that car. Rear axle, rear bumper, rear light, wheel arch liner, and a couple of other little trims, £150. And I think that was very reasonable. We've placed these out on purpose like that because you really couldn't see it that good on the car. So this is the new one we've just got, and we've got it in line with that ramp there, so you can see how straight it is. And this is the old one, and that's in line, and you can see how far out that is. So we're just going to move on and get that axle fitted. Like I said, I did borrow one of the alley wheels off him, so we can get it back on its feet, and then it can go in, out, and we can put it wherever it needs to go, and it will drive absolutely fine as soon as it's got a straight axle on it. Let's get on and get that fitted. Cut back in from this far back so that you can actually physically see both wheels, and you can now see that they're straight. Actually, it's a little bit deceiving because there's mud on the bottom of that tyre, isn't there? But you can see that side's fine, and then that side's bang on as well now, exactly where it should be. We've just bled the brakes up, everything's all connected back up. It was so straightforward, and you would have seen it was reasonably quick. We did have a slight kink in this bracket here. It was only just out slightly. Chris gave that little tap with the hammer, and it went straight back in place where it needed to be. We are still trying to source the quarter panel for it and some various other bits, but let's get it down off the ramp. So a slight change of plan there, going a little bit off subject. We was going to put this outside. We're waiting for the Hyundai to come back from the paint shop, but that is going to be another couple of days. So we have got a couple of days to get on this and give it a tug. We've got the jig out there. We're going to pull that in, get all the brackets on it, get it set up, and get the car mounted on that jig. I have found the quarter panel for this car, and it is in Leicester, very reasonably priced, brand new panel that somebody's selling. I've spoke to the chap. I'm just trying to work out now the safest way to get it here from Leicester. He won't post it, and obviously it's too far for me to drive, so we're trying to work a plan out on that. We're trying Shipley and various other companies, and fingers crossed we can get that here and hopefully turn this project round pretty quick as well. I'm not going to waffle on, guys, because there's quite a bit of work involved in getting this set up on the jig. Let's get the jig in and get it on there. So you would have seen me and Chris there on that little piece of time lapse. The time lapse, I think there's probably about 45 seconds to a minute, but we've probably been on this an hour. It was probably about an hour's work. And the reason really for that is this hasn't been used for a long time, and we had to get everything out, and we just basically went round. There's quite a lot of measurements on there, and these was all full up with, you know, crud, dust and debris, and we just got the bit of cleaner out and a toothbrush and cleaned all of those up. But that's really what the jig does look like now it's all set up. I'm going to ask Chris to just come over and show, actually. I won't ask you just yet, Chris, but we've set these up. You've got the rulers on the side here, and we've gone underneath the car and we've measured from this back pinch weld here to the pinch weld the other side, and basically we've set that up at the same width. There will be some fine minor adjustments once we bring the car down, but they are all fitted loosely at the moment. They're not actually, Chris, I'll get you to demo that. Yep. These go up and down, they adjust. Also, they go from left to right, backwards and forwards. You can pretty much adjust them to suit. I've probably done that a bit tight. So you can come in and out, and you can pretty much get it to suit any car that you're going to put on here. You can pretty much do it with this. These are the clamps here, and they're seal clamps. They've got little teeth in there. Sorry, I'm pointing the camera on the floor. You've got little jaws in here, and they grip on that seal. These get done up really tight, and then it holds the car on there so that we can give it a pull. So we're now going to move on to getting this underneath the car and getting the car fixed onto the jig. Let's do it. So a little bit tricky there getting it on the frame machine, but it is now all the way on there, fully mounted up, all tight, ready to go. The bottle jacks, as you can see under the front there, we've got a couple of bottle jacks. Now with a 2-post lift, it was very awkward because this is such a short wheelbase car. We couldn't get the front clamps on with the 2-poster lift under there, so we had to use the front bottle jacks. All it is, we wanted to get the clamps right onto the jacking points under the A-post of the car, because that is the strongest point of where to hold it. So we got that all sorted out, and we've left the bottle jacks under there for now because we're going to need them. We're going to need to put them back under there when we lift it up, but it's all hooked on there and ready to go. But we was just about to start the process, but we have had the call, and the Hyundai is all painted and it's ready for collection. So we are going to cut this one here, guys. So it does seem a bit of a shame to leave this one here hanging, but unfortunately, once you are committed with a job like this, it's a lot of stuff to have out in the workshop, like have the dozer out and have the jig in the right place where you need it. So for us to start the job and then go off and start doing the Hyundai, and obviously we want to keep putting out mixed content. We don't want to put the same car out, essentially the same every day, like Monday, Wednesday and Friday, the same car. You are seeing this one today on a Wednesday, and we did put a video out of it on a Monday, but the interest on it was amazing, and hopefully that continues. But we've got the call on the Hyundai. We need to get it back, get cracking on with that. And we don't want to get everything out and then half start this and then end up leaving half the tools here and then taking them away. I'm sure you get what I'm saying, guys. It's got to be done in one hit, and that is it. So unfortunately, that is the end of today's video. I do hope you enjoyed it as usual, and if you do enjoy it, please do give us a thumbs up. We really do appreciate it, and it shows your appreciation. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, where I do put out little sneak peeks, and I did put one out that's gone pretty well of some little bits and pieces that Chris has done on his Vauxhall Viva, what he's been doing in the background. I've captured a lot of that. I've got a lot of footage of it, and real soon I will place a video together and get that out for you guys. So I'm not going to go on anymore. Like, subscribe and share. Thank you all again for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon in the next one.